And welcome back, everybody. Welcome into our show with head coach Chris Beard, presented by Rudy's. Make a basketball move over to Rudy's.com to place your curbside pickup or delivery order and enjoy 100% oak smoked meats, Rudy's signature sauces, and delicious sides from your home. The Red Raiders are ranked 15th in the country, up a couple of spots with a undefeated week in the Big 12, which is not easy to do. Coming off the 91-64 win over Iowa State, 10-3 overall, 3-2 in conference play, and 2-0 on the road. They've got Texas coming up at 6 o'clock in Austin on Wednesday. And joining us now is the head coach of the Red Raiders. Coach, how you doing today, my man?
Good, Hex.
You had any, in Irving, did you ever have any snow days?
Not many.
Not many.
Maybe one or two my whole childhood.
Yeah, so there's not any, like, cool stories from that, like finding a hill or anything. You went to school.
I lived at 3847 Double Oak. Double Oak was a hill. The one time it did snow that I remember, we had a huge pizza pan in our garage. Why we had it, I don't know. I don't ever really remember homemade pizza, but this thing was huge. And I remember getting it out and sliding down the 30 Double Oak with my buddies.
Awesome.
Didn't make Mom too happy.
No. Did it hurt the pan at all?
Yes.
That's why she was not happy. Well, we were happy, Coach, with what happened on Saturday. The Red Raiders, again, get it done in so many ways. It just looked like everybody was comfortable and everything clicked. Again, 91-64. Boy, not easy to do at Hilton Coliseum. But what impressed you from Saturday?
Well, I think obviously our guys were dialed in. I think we played well offensively. Then our defense, has always been good. It's just about being consistent on defense. We created some offense out of our defense. First basket of the game was created by our defense. So I think it's kind of the combination of playing well on both ends of the floor. Normally means that you're playing pretty well as a team. Probably as important as winning a couple games last week, I think we're playing better. I think we're getting some things done. We've got some objectives in practice, and we're starting to get some carryover for what we're trying to get done in practice. It's starting to show up in games. So, look, it's a business of winning games. You got to win. But just as important as a coach, you're trying to get your team better, and I thought we got better last week.
You had a good run going there, and our game broadcast, the stat broadcast keeps Texas Tech has made 5 of its last 6 of its last 7. I think it got to a point where it was 11 of its last 13. How important was it just for a surge of confidence to see some of you got high quality shots, but you also had some that were contested at the end of the shot clock. I remember Kyler, I think with 1 second on the shot clock, hand in his face, bury it. How much does that help the swell of confidence, especially when you're out there on the road?
Yeah, not to simplify it too much, but it's a game of making shots. And obviously, when you're making shots, the game becomes easier for you. Doesn't guarantee a victory, but it gives you a larger margin for error. Some of those shots, too, we work on one-on-one, late shot clock shots. In those moments, we want to put the ball in our best players' hands. We got 3 or 4 best player type guys this year, and we just want to, what might look like a low percentage shot for those watching at home isn't necessarily true because those guys work on those shots. So Kyler has a lot of one-on-one in his game. Mac is no different. So those late shot clock, it happens in the Big 12. You just want to make sure you get yourself as quality a shot as you can get.
What'd you think about Tyreek's run through there and followed dunk?
Yeah, I've been really pleased with Reek the last few games. He's starting to get some consistency. He's impacted the last 3 or 4 games he's played in. The objective is to try to get him more minutes. He's working really hard on some skill things where we can play him and Marcus together. And Vlad, we haven't shown that yet this year in rotation play, but we're prepared to do that. This next game could very well be that chance. But Reek's got a great future in basketball. He's getting better. He's impacting the game per minute played. And so look for him to get a better, more opportunity as the season goes on.
On the defensive end, how'd you think you did against Rasir Bolton and Jalen Coleman-Lands?
Well, I thought it was a focal point of our game plan. I think Bolton's one of the best guards in the Big 12, period. Lands is one of the best shot makers in the Big 12, period. So those guys were on our minds. I know from their perspective, they missed a couple shots that they normally make, but I think you got to give our guys credit. We made it hard on those guys. I thought we made them work for every shot they got. And so I liked our players' intensity. I liked their in-game intelligence. Like, hey, where are those guys? So we did a pretty good job staying focused on Iowa State's best weapons.
I've heard people say, and just in, we got a sports talk show in the morning, and we hear from folks, and they're saying, some of them, hey, it looks like McClung's playing off the ball a little bit more, maybe as a two more. And I know there's not a designated one. Like, this is our point guard. But has Mac been playing off the ball more as a two?
I don't know if that's necessarily true, but what he has been doing is playing more efficient. We talk with
8 of 10.
Mac McClung a lot like we do all the other great players we've had here about second touch. It's hard to come down the floor against a Big 12 coach and Big 12 talent and have the ball in your hands and just go make a play. It doesn't work that easy because the other guy can really coach and the other players know who you are. But I think when you start getting the ball from side to side and you start playing second catch, third catch, Mac gets it back. Now is where he can be more aggressive. So I guess that is playing without the ball while that's going on. But we've been spending a lot of time with Mac as well as our other best offensive players talking about second touch and third touch. All these guys, their hearts are in the right places. They're trying to make the right play. But like we've said a million times, I mean, our team's a work in progress. We're still getting used to playing with each other. And our goal from day one has always been to be the best team we can be as February turns into March.
Yeah, which will be here fast. How'd you think Marcus Santos Silva played? It looked like in the first half, just a little tiny bit off. I mean, when he took a couple shots, just not quite as balanced as he is normally. But then he did some great things in the second half. How'd you feel like he played overall?
Yeah, I thought the second half he was the best player on the floor for periods of the game. We were playing through him, and he was making some big-time plays on defense with his long arms, quickness, intelligence. He's one of the best talkers I've ever coached. He kind of anchors our defense, which I think will translate nicely to him in pro basketball, where they ask a lot of their interior players to anchor defenses. Marcus talks. He's a leader. I thought in the first half, we have such a high expectation for Marcus. It's almost surprising sometimes when he gets the ball in the paint and shoots kind of like an awkward shot. But I mean, he's doing a great job. I loved his maturity and experience to not one of his better first halves, but was dialed in at halftime. Didn't go soft on me, didn't go quiet, led and was vocal, just like he had a double-double in the first half. And then sure enough, like it always happens, when you lose yourself in the game, the individual stuff's going to happen when you're talented like Marcus. So I thought in the second half he really got us off to a great start and played one of his better halves of the season.
Well, you gave us a nice little look into that, I think the last show, where you said, hey, we don't just want to play through Marcus in the post or at the high post. We want to play through Marcus at the perimeter. And then I started seeing him getting those touches and then moving the offense that way. Very neat to see. Kevin McCullough goes into the postgame show and says, I have no fear. Just out there balling. When you see him go for 15 and 11 with what he went through just to get on the court, what's that do for you? How you feel about that performance?
Yeah, just continuing to be happy for Kev, proud of him, kind of running his own race, just continuing to get better. He can impact the game in so many ways. And I think this was an example, right? Leading rebounder. I think there'll be a game sooner than later when he's the leading assist guy. He's going to have many, many games where he's the leading scorer, but he's literally like a dribble, pass, shoot guy that can do a lot of things. He actually has a lot of athleticism, too. There's a whole other gear to him. There'll be a day where he's playing above the rim on people. So just as he continues to come off this last kind of adversity, it's not just about being cleared. It's just about the practice time he missed and trying to get those legs back under him. I think that's one of the things with his shot. He was one of our best three-point shooters back in the fall, and now he's just trying to adjust to getting his legs back under him. But, I thought Kev played great at Iowa State, played with a lot of courage, played with a lot of confidence. He's earned the right to be a confident player because he works so hard.
Well, and then he was in there, digging in and battling with Solomon Young, who's a heck of a player. I was impressed with him, Coach, and what he brought to the table. And then you guys made nice adjustments and were able to slow him down. Like I said, and I know he started off 5 for 5 and ended up 1 for his next 5. So did a good job of adjusting on Solomon Young. All right, that takes us to Shannon, 11 points, 6 assists. Where did that come from?
It's just a lot of work. I mean, TJ has been working on his game since the first day he arrived in Lubbock 2 summers ago. And, ultimately to reach his individual goals in this game, he's going to have to be a skilled guy that can dribble, pass, and shoot. He's always been a great scorer, a great athlete. He's got a high IQ. He sees things. but his skill is starting to catch up with his talent, and just so proud of him. Made some good plays with ball handling, which led to some assists. He's starting to see things. The game's slowing down for him a little bit, and so it's just nice to see him impact the game in different ways. We all know that he can go out there and give you 20 points on any given night. But when we start getting these guys, Kev, 10-plus rebounds, TJ, 6 assists, now you can kind of see where this team is going. And our plan for this team is to have, 5 guys on the court at all times that can play the game. Marcus has had some big moments with passing and assisting. So I think eventually that'll be the identity of this team if we're going to compete for championships, is we just got 5 guys on the floor that can play.
And I don't want to leave out JB. I almost did. I mean, he stepped up and said, "Hey, coach, I can do it too." I was impressed with that. How'd you feel about Jamarius Burton?
Yeah, I thought he was as aggressive in games as we've seen him. There's a whole nother gear for him on any given day in practices. He's the best player on the floor. So he's a cerebral player. How about that word? Can you spell it?
Cerebral? C-E-R-E-B-R-A-L.
I have no idea.
I think I got it.
I'll go with it, Hax.
Okay.
But no, look, JB's a good player, and he comes in here and he's trying to fit into a new system. He's trying to impact winning. He's trying to be a point guard mentality-wise, but we need him to score too. We're asking a lot of him, and I just like the way the guy's fighting. I mean, it hasn't been easy for JB. Things aren't happening as quickly as any of us would have liked, but he just keeps working. And you know me, Hax, I'm never going to go bet against a guy like that. So I thought at Iowa State, it's just kind of the next step. He's playing confident out there. He's an aggressive scorer. He's one of our best shooters. And I think as he continues just to work and run his own race and keep working, it's just a matter of time until it opens up. And, I'll predict it. There's going to be a game where he's got, 18 points, 10 rebounds, and 8 assists. And everybody will be saying, where did this come from? I won't be one of those guys. This guy is a talented player. He's just working hard at trying to get adjusted to a new system. And I love the way he approached the game in Iowa.
One more for this segment, and then we'll get to the Longhorns. What was the atmosphere like? Because we're hanging out where you're sitting right now.
Yeah, just like all these venues this year, kind of weird. You walk in there thinking, man, this is one of the coolest venues of college basketball. We even told our players about the history of Hilton Coliseum and their fan base there. It's basketball country, and the whole lower level had no fans, and then they did have fans. There was some noise in there because their fans are so great, like ours are in Lubbock. But certainly just another, for lack of a better word, kind of weird game in the 2020-21 basketball season.
All right. When we come back, we're focusing on Texas. We'll also have some questions that you've turned in to @GunsUpRadio. Texas Tech basketball with Chris Beard, presented by Rudy's Barbecue, will continue after these messages on the Texas Tech Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
At Texas Tech, innovation is at our core. Grit and determination drive our ambition. Art and culture spur our creativity. We're a community that makes Texas and the world a better place. We're a university where our accomplishments are many, our achievements are global, and our victories are glorious. Texas Tech University. From here, it's possible.
We're back on Texas Tech basketball with Chris Beard, presented by Rudy's Barbecue. Go by and get Rudy's Barbecue tonight. Take it home. Mom won't have to cook, or Dad won't have to cook, and they've got all your favorite meats, the briskets, the turkey, and they're smoking with the oak. We got to do that because we've done it the last couple.
Smoke with the oak.
Smoke with the oak, says Coach Chris Beard. I am Jeff Haxton. Thank you so much for being here. Michael Tackett is our producer engineer. Okay, let's talk about Texas. They go on the road, get a buzzer beater basically. Andrew Jones does it. They're ranked 4th in the country. They have been really, really good. When we think of this year's Texas team, what's different from previous teams? Because the previous teams have been good, but not quite to this level. What differences have you seen?
Well, I'm not there every day. I'm not in their locker room, but from my advantage, watching them play and preparing for this game, it looks like this year's team in Austin has a certain chemistry to them. I know they've lost a couple of players. Sometimes, it's addition by subtraction, not being negative on the guys that choose to leave, but just the team kind of becomes tighter when there's less guys, vying for playing time. But I think they've got what appears to be a close-knit group. You've got the 3 guards that have been there for a long time. They've incorporated some young guys, and some of their returners have gone into different roles. But, on video, again, not being in their locker room every day, it appears that they're a close-knit group. It looks like they have a chemistry this year that's pretty special.
This is hard to judge, but I know Baylor in their notes, they put out wingspans of guys because they are so long. Will Texas be the longest team, as far as wingspan height that you play? Because I know they got some bigs that they run out there.
Yeah, no doubt. I think they're the most athletic team probably in college basketball. 1 to 10, 1 to 11, they're athletic. And it's not just in the long athletic guys that you think, hey, that guy's athletic. I mean, those 3 guards are very, very athletic and quick, for their size range. So I think this is what's translated to defense for them. In my opinion, the best defensive team that Shaka's had in his time there. They're hard to score against. They make up for a lot of their mistakes with just athleticism. So it'll be a focal point of our game plan, trying to run an offense and understanding how athletic the defense is.
Andrew Jones is the Big 12 Player of the Week. Greg Brown is the Newcomer of the Week. I have been really impressed with Greg Brown. Again, long, athletic, looks like an NBA player already. What has he brought to them?
Plays with a lot of confidence. Definitely playing a role in this year's team. I think his role is to be a scorer, to be a rebounder. But he plays with a lot of confidence as a young guy, and he's extremely athletic. And so, we'll have our work cut out for us defensively. And then on the other end, you just got to be careful when he's around because he can do some things other guys can't do.
This is from Woody in Lubbock. What are you planning on doing to beat the Horns? Straight away.
Yeah, we got to score more points than them. When the buzzer goes off, it's got to say Texas Tech, at least one more than the other team. So not driving me a smart aleck. So, every game there's objectives. Some of the things are non-negotiables. The first part of every game plan is us. We know that we got to take care of the ball. We got to shoot a certain percentage. We've got to get to the free throw line. We got to get back on defense. There's some things we got to do. Then the next part of the game plan is, okay, who we playing tonight? And we're playing Texas. So these are things that Texas is all about. This is their identity. Then you got to kind of cut into some things. You're never going to take everything away from the opponent. You have to make some kind of decisions. This is what we're going to try to maybe make tough on them tonight. But the first part of the game plan is always us. And for us, it's always, ball security and trying to defend at a high level.
Yeah, and been doing, Kyler Edwards, you keep talking about that assist-to-turnover ratio. Man, that's impressive because right now he's not turning the ball over and he's getting it to the guys that need to be getting the ball. I should have brought my sheet up here. I would have those numbers. But it's really good. I mean, trust me on that, the assist-to-turnover ratio. With Tech allowing 4,000 fans in the USA, do we have the best home court advantage in the Big 12 this year? That's from Randy.
I don't know if the best because there's some other great venues and other great fan bases in the Big 12. But I would proudly and confidently say very clearly that we have one of the best fan bases and best environments. I don't know anybody that has anything better. Last couple of years, starting with the Elite Eight team, the Final Four team, and then last year's third consecutive NCAA tournament bid team. We've built something special here in Lubbock. It never gets old thanking everybody. The season ticket holders that invest their time and money in coming to the games, still trying to get that last piece fixed where on the nights people can't come to the game, they give their tickets to people. That's still been a challenge. So hope people will continue to try to do that. Our student section, the Raider Riot, it's just special. I grew up watching, the fans at Duke and the fans in our league at places like Kansas and like Iowa State, and I would argue that our student section is as good as anybody in college basketball. And that's been really cool through the COVID-19 challenges too. We're only able to give the students a certain percentage of the tickets, hacks, and as you know, they sell out every game.
Yeah.
We haven't had a game this year.
That happened today for Baylor.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, and even during the semester break, where a lot of the Tech students go home, we're basically selling out the student section. So I would put our home crowd, our home environment up with anybody in the country right now, and I'm proud to say that.
That's great. This is from Brent, a rather long question, so hang with me. With the way our lack of size in the paint hurt us last year, are there any plans to get Vlad more playing time to bring him along to the point he can be a contributor and defensive rebounding equalizer down the stretch for us? If not, similar problems appear to be looming this year. Again, from Brent.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with Brent on everything in that question. I thought Holyfield did a great job for us last year, and we used Russ and Dre a little bit. Chris Clark had the ability to play different positions. So I think this year, I'm really proud of what Marcus and Reek are doing in game time. And then we're very optimistic and positive that Vlad is going to be a special player. You put a lot of work in. The next step will be game minutes. But we have a real plan for Vlad this season. I look for him to play in games down the stretch. He's doing a great job with player development off the court and in practice. So just like all our players, we have a plan for each of our guys to help our team. That's why they're here. That's why we recruited them.
This is from Jesus Arenas. This was 2 weeks ago. I didn't get a chance to ask you. He wanted me to ask you what player that you've coached talked the most trash.
Yeah, Zeus, that's a loaded question because he knows it's him. Zeus was on our team the first year with Coach Knight, and Coach Knight was a big-time teacher in practice. So it wasn't rare, or it wasn't out of the normal day-to-day process in our practice that Coach would stop practice, and he would do a lot of teaching. And the players that weren't in the drill, which was Zeus a lot, no disrespect to Zeus, so he would be on the baseline a lot. Uh-huh. And as an assistant coach, I worked the baseline a lot because I was in charge of many things. One of them was our help side defense. So I would find myself often standing next to Zeus during a practice where Coach Knight has stopped practice and he's getting on people, and teaching. And Zeus just had that, ability to speak just loud enough where everybody could hear except for Coach Knight. And he would be getting on Andy Ellis or he would be getting on Andre Emmett. And, it made me, uncomfortable because I didn't want, Coach to hear and he'd look at me like, why am I not getting on Zeus? So
that's how I feel in the gym with you. Yeah.
I would literally just kind of separate. I would kind of get away from Zeus. And then after the fact, Zeus has become a great friend and a great supporter, a great former player in our program. But I always tell him, man, you got me fired about 9 times. But no, Zeus was – he not only was he a great trash talker, he had the perfect volume. Like he could say things where the head man couldn't see it, and that's a special talent.
That is a special talent, and I've been in that situation where somebody's not been in the gym with a Chris Beard practice, and they're all over there going, "Hey, man, how you doing? What'd you do last night?" And I'm like, "Shit, know the room, calm down, hush." Okay, one more, and this is an interesting question from Ben in Midland. What was the first car you drove?
1987 Mazda B2200 pickup truck.
So kind of a smaller pickup?
Yeah, real small.
Yeah.
They don't even make those these days.
No, they don't.
Yeah,
right.
No storage. Remember the seat would come up? Yeah. Barely had enough room in there to get a couple 6x9s. But I had to pull the seat up a little bit to get those in there.
Scoot it forward?
Yeah. But comfort versus music, always going to go music.
What are you spinning these days? What's on the playlist?
Been listening to some Eric Church, kind of in my, I don't know, is that top 40 now? Country. Also, just kind of, man, what a year, 2020. Just crazy. We've lost so many great musicians. So whether it be Jerry Jeff Walker, Kenny Rogers, been pumping him a little bit lately. Hal Ketchum, Small Town Saturday Night.
Joe Diffie.
Pickup man. So been spending a lot of time listening to some of the greats that have passed this year. Yeah. Kind of a respect thing.
A little salute. Well, we'll salute you, Coach, for a great win against Iowa State. Good luck against Texas on Wednesday, and then Baylor here Saturday. We'll try to make some noise for you. Thanks a bunch.
Appreciate it, brother.
All right, that is Chris Beard. When we come back, we'll have Casey Perrin, Chief of Staff. This is Texas Tech Basketball, presented by Rudy's with Coach Beard on the Texas Tech Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
At Texas Tech, innovation is at our core. Grit and determination drive our ambition. Art and culture spur our creativity. We're a community that makes Texas and the world a better place. We're a university where our accomplishments are many, our achievements are global, and our victories are glorious. Texas Tech University. From here, it's possible.
Make a basketball move over to Rudy's, Rudy's.com, to place your curbside pickup or delivery order and enjoy 100% oak smoked meats, Rudy's signature sauces, and delicious sides from your home. Jeff Haxton with you on Texas Tech basketball with head coach Chris Beard. And joining us is Chief of Staff Casey Perrin, making his radio debut, dressed to the nines, looking good. He's got, for our folks that can't see him, which is a bunch, he's got the tights, shorts over the tights, the double T Under Armour t-shirt, a couple of wristbands, looking like he just came in from a workout. How's it going, Casey?
It's going well, Jeff. How you doing?
Was that a decent description?
That was perfect. It's a little cold outside.
Yeah, okay. That's why you got the tights. Okay. Of course, Casey is a part of this I don't want to say circus. Sometimes it's like a circus. This show that is working with head coach Chris Beard, and you've been here since day one, correct?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
So I always say the day oneers are you, Adams, and Beard. And then if you want to extend it to the not 30, not tier one, me and Level.
Well, and John Riley.
I always include Riley. I that was just a mistake on my part. I always include him in there. That's how much turnover there's been. That's how much success there's been because those guys come in and they go find jobs. And now you've got your job as chief of staff. Where did you grow up?
I was born and raised in Southern California.
Okay.
Kind of lived a little bit all over. Phoenix, Arizona, on the East Coast as well. But now Texas is kind of home.
So this is really foreign, what's going on outside, right?
A little bit, yeah.
You've seen some snow here, but I talked to Micah Peavy. I talked to him from Ames, and he said that was the first real snow that he'd seen.
Yeah.
And I said, well, when you come back home, we're going to have more fun. So a guy that is getting to see the world a little bit. How'd you feel about the guy's performance in Ames, man? It was a lot of fun to be a part of that one. That was the way it's supposed to look, right?
Yeah, they were locked in. They were on edge, I think, in the game. And Iowa State's always a really good team. Regardless of their record, they're always a really good team. And the guys, they showed up and they were ready to play.
You know, I hear a lot of things about the motion offense and about it clicking. Is that what it looks like when it clicks? I would hope so.
Yeah, and when you bring in, a whole new team almost, it feels like this year, sometimes it takes a little bit for it to gel together. And the guys, it feels like they're playing together a lot better. We were running the ball, and I think they were just locked in, ready to play.
Yeah. Defensively, what are the challenges that you obviously met in slowing down Iowa State again, 91-64, and we kind of talked about it in the pregame. And again, we're talking with Casey Perrin, chief of staff. But what did the defense do well to slow guys like Bolton and Young? Young got off to a hot start, but then slowed down some.
It's hard to contain the speed of someone like Bolton and the strength of someone like Solomon Young. Our game plan was just, contain, and try to battle down there with Solomon.
What got you hooked up with Chris Beard? Let's get to know you a little bit. Take me through the steps, because there's always that intersection. I talked with Bob Dunewald about the same thing, about his dad getting to know Coach Beard because he was a TV analyst, and then he said, let me introduce you to this guy, and that kind of deal. There's always a story. Mm-hmm. So tell me the story.
So I played at Campbell University in North Carolina, and my freshman year, Coach Berg was one of my assistants. And him and I, when they left, him and I stayed in touch over the years. And when he took the job at Little Rock, obviously I called him, congratulated him for that, and just kind of stayed in touch throughout that whole season. And they had a great year after they beat Purdue in that game. I remember where I was watching that game, and just sitting there watching Berg, super happy for him. And I didn't know Beard at the time. And after I was done playing, I reached out to Coach Berg, told him I was really interested in getting into coaching. He said he'd help me out. I had no idea I'd end up working with him. I thought maybe I'd start somewhere else. And so to have that opportunity to work with Coach Beard and Coach Berg here at Texas Tech was amazing for me. I learned a lot coming here that first year, 16, 17, with Coach. And it's unbelievable where this program's gone.
Yeah, it's really remarkable. Just like being on a rocket ship, man. That thing took off and has not landed yet. Again, we're talking to Casey Parent, and for those out there that might question his skills, don't do that. Casey can ball. There have been some amazing one-on-one games featuring Casey, Ronald Ross, and Daryl Dorr. I don't think you probably ever had to go through with Daryl, did you?
No.
Did you? That's just not the right kind of size.
Not one-on-one with Daryl.
Yeah, because you could go right around him and he could just back you right down. So that wouldn't be any fun. But, man, there have been some battles. So when was the last year you played at Campbell?
It was 15, 16.
Oh, my gosh. This guy's a baby out here. Already advancing up into being chief of staff at a place like Texas Tech. That's amazing. So future aspirations, you just want to keep climbing that ladder, that kind of deal?
Yeah, I've been blessed to work with a variety of great coaches since I've been here at Texas Tech, and this is the only place that I've worked so far in my life, and I've been really blessed to work with Coach Beard and learn so much from him. Eventually, I would like to be a head coach someday in my life.
Okay, so what we're going to do with Casey now is we've got a little bit of background on him. We're going to take you through some of the individuals, and I want you to tell me what they're doing great right now and what you want to see out of them, just a little bit more, okay? Because, as much as they give, as much as we get, there's always that little bit more that you're trying to round out so you can, again, get rolling in an NCAA tournament, play for conference championships. But let's start with Kyler Edwards. Doing great right now, want a little bit more.
He's pushing the ball at a high level. He's kind of starting our offense, and defensively he's just locked in. He's one of our best defenders we've had since we've been here. Something that he can always do better is just continue to shoot the ball better. And he's really putting a lot of work behind the scenes.
Yeah, boy, did he ever. Let me get that line pulled up here. I got the box. Kyler was 6 for 9, 3 for 5 from 3, had 4 rebounds. He's led you in rebounding 9 times in his career, including 4 times this year. That's invaluable, right, from a guard?
For a guard to rebound down like that, he's so athletic and so strong.
I'm not going to make you do all these guys, but I am going to give you about 3 or 4. Jamarius Burton, I'm interested on him.
JB coming into a new program, everybody has to kind of settle in and feel their role. And JB's done a great job, puts in a ton of work behind the scenes. He's also someone that can continue to shoot the ball better, and he puts in a lot of work behind the scenes. Something that he's doing really, really well is just playing team basketball, really moving the ball and buying into the motion offense.
Burton was 4 for 9, looked confident taking his shots. He was 1 for 5 from three-point range, but ended up with 9 points and a steal. Okay. We know we're getting there. How about Micah Peavy? 20 minutes, 6 points.
Well, with Micah, he's one of the most talented players I've ever been around, and for him, it's just continue to stay confident, just being aggressive offensively and defensively. He's really athletic, really talented, and he has potential to be great on both ends of the floor.
Is there a chance we see more from Agbo as we go on?
Oh, absolutely. Chibuzo may be one of the hardest workers since I've been here at Tech. Lives in the gym.
Yeah, and I'm sure you know this, but we'll be down there doing our broadcasts, and we'll hit our post-game show, be about 3 segments into it, and here he comes. He comes back out there, ready to shoot more free throws. Kid's got a bright, bright future, and so does the guy that we're talking with, Casey Parent, Chief of Staff. When we come back, we'll talk about the Texas Longhorns. Of course, that's the upcoming opponent. Get ready for them down in Austin. Again, 8 o'clock is that tip-off Wednesday at the Drum, and maybe – as far as I know, the last game at the Drum, I think, because they got that new facility they're going to build down there in Austin, going to share that with the city. So let's make it a Red and Black trip down there. So we'll talk more with Coach Parent when we come back. You are listening to Texas Tech Basketball with Chris Beard on the Texas Tech Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
At Texas Tech, innovation is at our core. Grit and determination drive our ambition. Art and culture spur our creativity. We're a community that makes Texas and the world a better place. We're a university where our accomplishments are many, our achievements are global, and our victories are glorious. Texas Tech University. From here, it's possible.
Back on Texas Tech Basketball with Chris Beard, presented by Rudy's. Grab the Rudy's Barbecue and take it home. The family will love you for it. You'll be a hero when you break out the brisket, the ribs, the turkey. Don't forget the banana pudding and all the sides that come with it. And if you can't get it tonight because maybe you're a little afraid of the ice, then go in tomorrow morning. Maybe things have cleared off a little bit more and get the breakfast tacos. Put brisket and cheese and egg on a taco. You'll thank me later. Most of you have probably already done that. And then for me, a massive Diet Dr. Pepper, which I know is right on Casey Perrin's list of nutritional things to do. You guys don't even have time to eat, do you?
Oh, there's always time to eat.
Always time to eat?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad to hear that you guys will stop a little bit. Favorite lunch place in town?
Whew. I mean, you can't ever go wrong with Rudy's.
Yeah,
I do love Rudy's a lot.
Rudy saved my life one time.
Really?
Yeah, I was in. I was on a baseball trip. It was in Dallas, and I'd gotten so low blood sugar I could barely see. And then I saw in the distance, in the clouds, the Rudy's, and I think I spent $30. And I said, "Thank you very much," and moved on with my life. But it's big time. Any place else stand out for you?
There is a spot. I think it's on 50th Street. It's called Honeycomb. It's a little sandwich spot.
Pie shop.
Yeah, pie shop. I really like that spot.
I know Urick's a big fan of that.
Yeah.
I think they're famous for the Reuben.
Yeah, the Reuben. Yep. Daryl Dora actually put me on that one.
Okay, I got to try that. I know Daryl loved it, and Urick as well. All right, when you think about Texas, I think about length and athleticism. It's a place that Texas Tech didn't win from, I think, 1996 to 2 years ago when Matt Mooney led us. Last year, your guys go down there and get it done again. So this year, 2021, Texas, go. What you got for me?
I mean, it's always one of the toughest places to play. We've been fortunate to go down there and have some success, but it's just you go down there and it's going to be tough no matter what. They, as a team, they're one of the most talented teams, not just in the Big 12, but in the country. Their length, athleticism, their guard play, and they're extremely well coached. So,
who's the leader on the floor for this year's team? You think
from Texas?
Yeah.
Oh, it's Matt Coleman, without a doubt. And I mean,
seasoned,
over
100 games,
seasoned veteran, point guard, runs the team, and they have veteran guards, veteran players just all around, and it's going to be a tough game.
Andrew Jones, Courtney Ramey, some of the names that you'll hear. But how about the bigs? Because Texas is famous for its bigs, and they've got more in that department as well.
Yeah, Sims, Kai Jones, Greg Brown, plays all positions.
How tall is Brown? 6'8", 6'9"?
6'9". Yeah,
Shit,
he just does everything.
Hit shots, plays with confidence. That was the first thing out of Coach Beard's mouth. I mean, the first time that I tuned this guy in, I think he dropped 23, and I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
Because you see Texas, and you're always going to be dealing with draft picks, the next year. But I was like, that guy looks like he's got a little something extra, a little edge to his game. Does he play that way?
Oh, he absolutely does. He's an aggressive scorer, super talented, super athletic, and he can shoot the ball. He does everything. So
yeah. Has anything changed with their defense? One thing that I've noticed across the league is as Baylor has risen to power, they don't play as much zone, right? I mean, it's Mark Adams' defense is what it looks like to me, keeping everybody on the side for Baylor, and that and their talent took them to another level. Is Texas doing anything different defensively?
Yeah, Baylor's a whole nother story right now, but I mean, Texas, they definitely rely on their athleticism and their length, but their guards are so competitive. I mean, Matt Coleman, who kind of is the forefront, he's so competitive on the ball. They hunt for steals. They hunt for block shots. So it's a tough game.
What's been the difference on the road trips? Because we have, with, again, not being Tier 1, have had to stay behind. COVID era, which we hope we're peeling out of any day, which I know it's not, but, hopefully we're going to get out of it soon. What have some of the differences been for the guys and for the coaches when you leave town?
We spend a lot more time at the hotel. We don't really go out and about very much. Everyone's always masked up. We try to follow every protocol that there is. So it's definitely just a kind of more compact, tight circle, deal when we go on the road.
You eating in the hotels more?
Yeah, basically all our meals are in the hotel.
And that's not the way it used to be. The best part about traveling with Chris Beard is where, the dining after the shoot around, or I should say the practice the night before. That's a big. So have you had to work harder, because that's a very family oriented thing. You know, when you get to go through the lines together, you're standing maybe with somebody that you don't know as well as others. You get to know people. That's what's been hard for me, is I haven't been able to get to know Jamarius Burton and a lot of these guys, because again, you're placed away from them. Do you have to work harder on chemistry because you don't have some of those moments, or is it just go about your normal business?
In some ways, yeah. But you know how we are on the road. We go out and we bring our culture everywhere we go, and
together.
It's together. And when we're in there in the hotel, we find ways to bring everybody together and have a little bit of fun too. So
yeah, and go through all the testing that happens. Over under on COVID tests for Casey Perrin.
Over.
Over what? See, you don't see. Casey's not a gambler, ladies and gentlemen. He's not a gambler. I mean, just like,
I'm just taking the over. I don't know what we're talking about.
That's a great answer. Great answer. So I don't have to give him a number. He just says over. Well, that's awesome, man. We appreciate your time, Casey Perrin, and good luck against Texas. And then we'll see you back here. Looking forward to getting a fist bump from you courtside when we take on the Baylor Bears. It's a big week. Got a lot of confidence in you guys and appreciate the time.
Thanks, Jeff.
All right, that's Casey Perrin, Chief of Staff. Been here since day one. We wrap things up when we come back after this on the Texas Tech Sports Network from Learfield IMG College. Okay, you're done?
At Texas Tech, innovation is at our core. Grit and determination drive our ambition. Art and culture spur our creativity. We're a community that makes Texas and the world a better place. We're a university where our accomplishments are many, our achievements are global, and our victories are glorious. Texas Tech University. From here, it's possible.
2, 1. Reminding you to make a basketball move over to Rudy's. Great barbecue starts with the wood, and Rudy's uses 100% oak to smoke their meats. Stop by Rudy's.com and place your curbside pickup or delivery order for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And as always, we've got to remind you that for over 3 decades, Community National Bank has deployed state-of-the-art technology with all the important personal touch their customers value. Contact the Lubbock brand today. Community National Bank, we are community. This has been a fun show, and our last show with head coach Chris Beard. Thanks to Casey Perrin and Coach for stopping in. Scheduling reminders coming up again on Wednesday. We'll be on the air at 7 o'clock from Austin as the Red Raiders take on the 4th-ranked Texas Longhorns. Big challenge coming there. Texas currently undefeated in league play, and the Red Raiders will try and change that. And then they come back to Lubbock, and they'll be getting ready for 2nd-ranked Baylor. That's a big week, folks. 4th-ranked Texas, 2nd-ranked Baylor, all in 1 week. That'll be a 3 o'clock tip-off here against the Bears on Saturday. Again, the student allotment of tickets is already gone, so we can't wait to see the smiling faces here at United Supermarkets Arena on Saturday. Again, an hour-long pregame show on Wednesday night on the air at 7. Tip-off will be right at around 8 o'clock, usually 8:01. It's been a pleasure and a privilege to bring you all these shows with head coach Chris Beard. I want to thank everybody out there for listening and viewing in tonight. Our studio producer engineer is Michael Tackett. This is Jeff Haxton for head coach Chris Beard, reminding you to join us for that Red Raider tip-off, 7 o'clock Wednesday. Tech and Texas should be a big-time throwdown, and you can listen to all of it right where you're listening at this moment. Until then, God bless, guns up, and good night from Lubbock.